Hi guys, I'm back. So I took my right hand and I filed everything all down and shaped everything. It looks really kind of weird right now, all chalky and white, as opposed to my finished hand that I did yesterday. That's ready to be painted actually, but and there's no fill, there's no nothing, so that's why it looks kind of weird. Um, you know, I've taken everything down and I've gotten rid of all of the growth that I had that needs to be all filled now, and shaped everything. I went a little bit shorter on this hand because, I don't know, I'm right-handed and I use my right hand quite a bit. And so I really kind of need this hand to be short. And now, because this is my first fill and I'm going to go another 2.5 weeks, possibly even 3 weeks before I get filled again. So that's why I cut them down and shape. Oh, I didn't cut them down. I filed them down really, really short because in 3 weeks they're going to be really long, like you saw in the other video. As long as those nails were at the time, that's 3 weeks worth of growth, and that's a lot for me. So I really get them down every time I do a fill now. I take my right hand especially and go really, really short, like it's really short. Okay, so at any rate, so everything is all filed down, everything is shaped. I got all of the growth done, everything's ready to start the system, the back scratchers extreme glaze system. So just like I told you guys in the other video, we're going to start with our base glaze, and then we activate it, then we get rid of the shine on that nail, then we do the base glaze again, we dip. As soon as we dip, we get rid of all that extra powder that's on there, and we finish with the finished glaze and use the dryer to activate again. So I've taken my acrylic dip powder and I have transferred it into just this little teeny scooper, this measuring scooper, because it's easier for me. I don't want to like contaminate, I guess, the entire jar full of the powder by sticking my finger inside here. So I just choose to use a little scooper thing in it, and it's shaped pretty good so that, you know, when I take my finger and I dip it in, it's a good shape. So we're going to get right into that. I'm going to put that away and stick that aside. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to be able to, like, tilt this down. Like, I would have to tilt it down to here so that you guys could see, you know, what I'm doing. So that's not going to work, really. I'll tilt it down as far as I can without having the iPad just kind of fall right over. So I'm going to take my base glaze. I'm going to do one finger at a time, okay? So just imagine, if you will. So I'm going to take the base glaze, and I'm going to start with my thumb, and I'm going to brush the base glaze. There, it's a brush, right? So I'm going to brush this onto my thumb, and then as soon as I'm done doing that, I'm going to dip it into the powder, okay? So let me go. I'm going to put my glasses on, too, so that I can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're going on the thumb. We're brushing it on. And I may have to do this video over again at some point. Maybe get some type of, I'll do it with my cell phone, with my smartphone, and I'll get a holder for it. So that way I can bend the holder down, and then you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. But basically, I just brushed that on. You see, it's all shiny. Now I'm going to take my dip, and I'm going to stick my thumb into the dip, okay? It's just like this. You're just going to stick it in here. You're going to roll it around a little bit. And try not to like press your thumbnail or your fingernail down into the bottom of this container and like smush it. Try not to do that. You know, there's enough powder in this little scooper right now that I don't need to press all the way down into, you know, the bottom of the container. And so you shouldn't really do that anyways. So I've got quite a bit of powder on there, and I'm just going to tap really lightly. And right now, okay, so it doesn't really look like I have enough on there, at least up on the top part anyhow. But be that as it may, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put another coat of the base. I'm not going to go into the finish sealer because it's way too quick. And I still need to put a little bit more powder up towards the top part where my cuticle is. It's not quite thick enough, and by the time I get done filing everything, I want that to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to just go ahead and put a little bit more of the base glaze just on the top where the cuticle is. And I'm going to go ahead and dip again and try to just get a little bit more of the powder up towards the top, okay, where my cuticle is, because I just want it to be a little bit thicker. I don't want it really thin right there. And you guys might have to do this a couple, two, tree. That's a Pennsylvania term. Oh, yeah, these Pennsylvanians. Even though I guess I consider myself to be one because I've lived here since 1990. Okay, so I'm using my brush right now, and I'm just brushing it off just so I can take a look and make sure that I have enough acrylic. You want to make sure that you get enough of the powder, like on the sides too, because you're going to be doing a lot of filing on the sides of your nails, and those are your stress points, and that's where you tend to have some splitting and breaking and chipping, and your acrylic will wear away faster there on the side of your nail for some reason. So on this side of my nail, it doesn't look like I have enough there, so I'm going to put a little bit more, and I'm going to redip and just kind of try to get some more in there on that side. The other side looked pretty good. You don't want it too thick, you guys. However, you're just tapping off the extra. Okay, so now here's the fun part. So that looks pretty thick actually, because when I'm done filing and everything, you know, I'm going to bring all that thickness down with my filing. So here we go. We'll see. I did this last night and it was okay. I have to be really fast with this and then wipe this freaking brush off. So here we go, okay? This is the finish glaze. Okay, and I'm coming on top of my thumbnail right now and with the finish glaze, and I can already see on my nail how quickly this is hardening everything. And so now I want to brush. I want to brush onto, like, I have some paper towels down here. You guys can't see that at the moment, but I have paper towels down here on my manicure desk, and I'm just brushing the excess off of my actual brush because I don't want that to harden. You can see it kind of is hardening. You know what I mean? It's getting stiff. Okay, and that's what you don't want. So try to brush it as much as you possibly can. Stick that back into the bottle. Grab your dryer. Okay, you want to stay roughly about 4 to 5 inches away from your nail when you're spraying that on there, and then just give it a quick spray. And then just leave it go, okay? Because we're not doing anything right now with this. All we did right now is we just put and it looks really rough. You know what I mean? It looks rough. And it's supposed to look rough, okay? But that's just putting on our glaze and our powder and activating everything. And we're just going to leave that go now. And we're going to continue doing the rest of our nails in the same manner. So that one worked out okay. It looks like my brush here for my finish glaze is still kind of soft. We'll see how this goes. I'd hate to ruin another freaking brush, but I'm telling you guys, if you don't work fast with that stuff, that's what's going to happen. And that's why I'm suggesting if you just don't feel confident that you can do it swiftly, then go ahead and use your base glaze for all of your steps and don't worry about the finish glaze. Just use your base glaze. It's going to do the same thing that the finish glaze does. It's just going to take longer to do it than the finish glaze, okay? So we did our thumb. We're done with that. We're going to go ahead on. We're going to take our base glaze and we're going to brush that on to our pointer finger, okay? So we're going to brush this on. Okay. So we brush that on. Everything's all nice and shiny. Now we're going to take this and we're going to dip this into our powder again, okay? So here we go. We're dipping. Now, I know in my other video I said, and this is the way that they suggest you do it, but I don't think it's necessary to do it, honestly. They say to go ahead and take your base glaze, put that on your nail, activate it, then they want you to buff off the shine. Then they want you to start all over again and take your base glaze and put that all over your nail and then dip like I'm doing right now. So basically, really what I have omitted doing right now in this video is the whole activating and buffing after you put the base glaze on the first time. Because I don't really think it's necessary. I've tried to do it that way and I didn't see any difference whatsoever, okay? So why go through all those extra steps if it's not necessary? So I put the base glaze on and then I immediately dip. They're telling you to put the base glaze, activate it with the dryer, get rid of the shine with the buffer, then start again with the base glaze, and then you dip. I have not seen any difference in my nails doing it that way, and so why bother to do it? Okay, so I'm going to take my little brush here, my handy dandy little brush from Bare Essentials Deluxe Tan. Wonderful brush for nails. I'm just going to get rid of all the excess powder right now because I like to take a look and see, do I need to double dip it again? You guys really kind of can't see it very good. But anyways, I'm going to examine, again, I'm going to examine the sides of my nails because that's where stress points are. And especially up here around the cuticle, I'm going to take a look and see, is that thick enough up there? Now the sides on this one look pretty decent. So I don't think I'm going to need to do that again, but I am going to do the top part by the cuticle again. So again, I'm going to take my base glaze and I'm just going to put some up on the top part of my cuticle because I don't want to do the whole nail. Then I'll have, nails that are this thick. It's going to take me forever to buff those down. So I'm just going to go up by the cuticle area here. I'm going to put some base glaze up there because that's the only place right now that I want that powder to be able to adhere, just up on the top. Okay, maybe a little teeny bit on that side right there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dip again. And I'm basically, I just really want the top part by my cuticle. Okay, so dip, dip, it doesn't take very long, you know what I mean? Roll it around in there. You can hear I'm scraping the bottom a little bit. Try not to do that if you can. It's not going to damage anything, but just try not to do that. Okay, get rid of the excess. Take a little. Now this time I'm not going to brush off the excess because I kind of want it to stay, and I can see it's pretty nice and thick there. Okay, so now again, you guys, here we go. We're going to use the finish glaze, which I have in the clear bottle here. Again, I had to transfer because this brush completely turned into a hard, solid rock mass when I did this the first time because I wasn't going fast enough and I didn't know that you had to go at lightning speed. So I wound up buying some extra clear, empty nail polish bottles, so just so I could have brushes. So I took the product and poured it into here. It's not labeled, but I know that that's what this is. So, okay, so now I'm ready for this next step. So I've done the base, I did the dip. Now I need to put this on the top and then finish it off with the glaze dryer. I have to move quickly with this or it's going to turn into a hard rock. Like right now, my brush is soft. If I don't move quickly, you guys, that's going to turn into a hard rock solid mass. So here I go. Quickly. Ready, go. As soon as this product, whatever this is made out of, the ingredients in that finish sealer, as soon as it hits the acrylic powder that's left on your nails, it starts hardening up like a freaking rock. It's like almost immediate. And so as soon as you can, as soon as you get that done on your nail, the finished glaze, as soon as you have that on there, take that brush and wipe it as much as you possibly can, trying to get all that stuff off of your brush because you do not want that to turn into a hard rock. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm trying my best to try to keep these bristles soft. I can see that it's hardening up pretty bad. So let me just get that out of there. I'm going to put this back into the bottle because I need to spray this at this point with the glaze dryer. Again, 4 to 5 inches away from your nail and just give it a quick little spritz, okay? And that's it. You're done with that part. And then you just let it do its thing and let it harden. So now I've got 2 fingers that are done. Yeah, they're pretty much done. So I'm going to actually pause this now. I'm going to do the rest of my fingers, the other 3 fingers, with this, because you guys don't need to sit here and watch me do all that stuff. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and file and buff the nails, and finish off with my, where is it? Here it is. Finish off with my permanent sealer. And so by the time I'm done with everything, this hand will look like this hand and ready to be painted. Okay, it looks pretty gnarly right now, but it won't. It looks thick and gross and nasty. But at least you guys get the idea now of how to do this, okay? So one more time, just for clarity purposes, I skip the step that they tell you to do, which is they tell you to, let's pretend that I just put fake nails on. These are all my real nails, P.S. None of these are fake. These are my own real nails at this point, because I've had them on for so long that my real nails have grown out to the length that I want them. None of these are fake. These are all my nails. At any rate, let's just say that I just put on a whole full set of fake nails. They tell you to, once you have your fake nails on, the seam between your own real nail and your fake nail, they tell you to put a little bit of base glaze sealer right in there, just to kind of thicken it up a little bit. Go over your entire fake nail and then spray it with your dryer. And then they want you to go and buff the nail shiny. Then they want you to start with the actual system, which again is you put your base glaze on, you dip it in your powder. Okay, so we're going to do base glaze, then you dip it in your powder, then you finish it off with your finishing glaze, and then you activate everything with your dryer. That's how they want you to do everything. I skipped that whole step about putting on the base glaze and activating it and buffing it to get the shine off. What's the point in that? I don't really see the point in it. I don't know. I just don't see. So why do it? I start with base glaze, dip in the powder, finish glaze, activator. Then I'm done. My nails are looking really gnarly. But then I go and I file, and then I buff, and I clean everything and make sure everything looks good. And my last step is I finish it off with the glaze sealer, and then they look like this, and then they're ready to be painted. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just shut down this video, because we're pretty much done at this point. And once I get everything done to where they're ready to be painted, I'll come back and show you guys what that looks like, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to pause this for now.